Those who can should. Those who can't, we always help.
My philosophy is simple, which is I believe it's when working people succeed that the country succeeds.
این شعارها زیبا، مورد پسند مردم و تحققشون خواسته اونهاست. اما مهم عملکرد سیاستمداره، نه شعار او. حزب کارگر هم مانند حزب رقیب تصمیم داشت سیاست‌های ریاضت اقتصادی اعمال کنه، اما با قوانین دست و پاگیر راه تجارت در بریتانیا و متعاقباً رشد اقتصادی این کشور رو ببنده. این در حالیه که محافظه‌کاران با سیاست‌های ریاضتی مناسب تجارت در این کشور در سالهای گذشته به کارنامه قابل قبول اقتصادی دست یافتند، مانند کاهش کسری بودجه به نصف، کاهش نرخ بیکاری به زیر 6% و افزایش رشد اقتصادی تا 3%.
He took over when there was a really horrible recession, high unemployment, terrible budget deficit. What's happened since then has been a recovery, growth that is now as strong as any country in Europe, probably stronger. The deficit, which has been reduced not as much as they wanted originally, but at least halved, and unemployment brought down so that employment in the United Kingdom is the highest that it's ever been.
کامرون برای نشون دادن حسن نیت خودش به دارندگان سرمایه پس از پیروزی در انتخابات، این مرد رو به عنوان وزیر تجارت کابینه خودش منصوب کرد. ساجد جاوید، وزیر مسلمان دولت بریتانیا که طرفدار پروپاگورس اقتصاد آزاد و رقابتیه. او البته از حامیان سرسخت برگزاری رفراندوم خروج بریتانیا از اتحادیه اروپا است و معتقده که این رفراندوم تا سال 2017 برگزار خواهد شد. این در حالیه که به رغم استقبال دارندگان سرمایه از پیروزی قاطع حزب محافظه‌کار، یکی از مهمترین نگرانی‌های اونها غیر قابل پیش‌بینی بودن نتیجه این رفراندومه.
I'm sure some businesses think, well, we'd better wait and see. We better wait until that risk has been removed. And until it's still there, so for the next couple of years, there will be quite a serious uncertainty. And indeed, for the rest of Europe, it means that because of this British vote, they now have to steel themselves for this renegotiation that will happen with Britain. And they may throw in demands of their own. They may take the opportunity to say, well, if Britain wants this, we want certain demands of our own to be taken into account as well. So it's likely to be a rather messy process.
یکی از مسائلی که حزب کارگر روی اون مانور وسیع انتخاباتی داد، خدمات درمان ملی بریتانیا بود. حزب کارگر مدعی بود که محافظه‌کاران میخوان به صورت مخفیانه سازمان خدمات درمان ملی رو به دست بخش خصوصی بدن. اما نکته اینجاست که همکنون 6% بودجه NHS از بخش خصوصی تامین میشه و هر دولتی سر کار میآمد این روند خصوصی سازی لاجرم باید ادامه پیدا میکرد، چرا که سازمان خدمات درمان ملی بریتانیا هزینه بالا اما درآمد تقریباً صفر داره که بخش اعظم کسری بودجه دولت از اون ناشی میشه.
Well, I think what is the case is that a Conservative government is more likely than a Labour government would have been to contemplate structural reforms within the NHS. But this is such an enormous organisation that they're very hard to do and, of course, deeply sensitive politically. So they made a start on it last time round. It didn't go very well. They actually were building on some reforms that the previous Labour government had started. So I think there will be inevitably more attempts to try to improve efficiency within the NHS, but it's such a vast beast that it's a very, very tall order.
دولت کامرون قصد داره از طریق حذف فرار مالیاتی، کاهش بیشتر مزایای عمومی و پایین آوردن هزینه‌های اداری، درآمد ملی این کشور رو 0.2% افزایش بده. برخی اهداف اقتصادی محافظه‌کاران رو بلند پروازی تعبیر کردن. دانیل فرانکلین اما معتقد احاطه کابینه کامرون بر مقوله اقتصاد احتمال شکست اونها در رسیدن به اهدافشون رو کم میکنه.
Well, they would miss their targets, I think, if growth went badly wrong. First of all, if there was a shock somewhere in the world economy. Let's say, for example, that the Greek situation took a turn sharply even for the worse, and that spread uncertainty around Europe and produced another recession among our main trading partners in Europe. That would have an impact on our plans. But I think what we've seen from the record of the economy under George Osborne so far is that he is prepared to be rather flexible, rather more flexible than he's often been given credit for. So while saying that they were going to be extremely rigid in their austerity and that there was no plan B, in fact, in practice, he eased up when it became clear that this was going to be problematic. He allowed the spending targets to slip very sensibly, and I think you might see the same happen again, that obviously they'll look at what's happening in the real economy and in the outside world, and they'll be prepared to adjust targets accordingly.
به نظر میرسه شهروندان انگلیسی به درجه‌ای از هوش سیاسی رسیدن که نگاه به اقتصاد رو بر مخاطب شعار سیاسی قرار گرفتن ترجیح میدن و این یک درس بزرگ برای سیاست‌ورزان این کشور و کشورهای دیگره.
One of the conclusions is that yes, the economy was very important. The Conservatives were going in on quite a strong record, but by contrast, the main opposition, the Labour Party, were offering a sort of anti-business program, or a program that was perceived anyway as being strongly anti-business. So I don't think there's one single thing. Scotland played a part, but clearly the economy was a huge factor as well. And if you look at the lessons beyond Britain, the Scottish factor doesn't play outside Britain, but certainly the economic one does too. So I think a strong economic record suggests that even in a situation where you had a very difficult economic period where you might think that there was a natural swing to the left, that hasn't happened in this country. That calculation, if you like, from the Labour Party proved to be mistaken, and that might be something that other countries would pay close attention to as well.
در سال 2010 کامرون برای تشکیل دولت مجبور شد قدرت رو با لیبرال دموکرات ها تقسیم کنه، اما اکنون نیازی به یک ائتلاف نیست. این به تنهایی میتونه نشونه ای از اعتماد عمومی نسبت به عملکرد محافظه‌کاران طی 5 سال اخیر باشه و اکنون مسیر دشوار حفظ این اعتماد برای اونها.
So, how are you all feeling?